very moderate. Maybe because maybe like half a year ago, in one of my radio program, long hair used foul language to blame her. And also
and
Raymond.
she's becoming more and more conservative.
Yeah. And she said she wouldn't talk with LSD because long hair speak foul language. So this is the reason why one of the reason why she didn't lead the Democratic Party to join our referendum. Is because somebody's speaking foul language.
Well,
yeah. So, but sometimes you don't know why the politician would change like within like 1 or 2 years, or very close to their retirement. Do they want more money for their retirement, or why people would suddenly become very not moderate, very conservative?
Yeah, I mean that's right. I don't know why people tend to get more conservative as they get older, don't they? Usually, most political figures, they tend to get more conservative. They're less wanting to take less risks, and they're afraid of controversy, aren't they? And it tends to be a bit like that. Not very often the other way around.
Actually, one of her rationale is that she thinks that long hair using this kind of foul language is a kind of language or action discriminating against women. But as a woman, I don't think this kind of foul language is disempowering women, but it's a kind of confrontation against the pro-Beijing camp and the government.
That's it. Interesting.
The Cantonese foul language is different than the English F word. The English F word is it could be in both ways. It could be the male take initiative, it could be the female take initiative. But in the Cantonese foul word, the same kind of F word, it's just a man taking initiative. It purely mean the male penetration.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting because obviously, I mean, this show City Forum. I expect a lot more people will start watching it actually now.
Yeah.
It sounds, it's like it's getting a bit more interesting, and hopefully a bit more genuine, free expression, and hopefully more controversy also, because it had a bit of a reputation of getting a bit boring, wasn't it? But hopefully, it's a good thing to have a platform like that, and the idea of having a public space in Victoria Park, being able to express political views is, I think it's a good platform potentially, as long as they have some interesting people on there and don't always go on for the safe, just because they tend to just go for lawmakers. Why not have some different kinds of characters and stuff from public life to give different views, I think. But I think also I want to ask you guys, I'm going to get through a few topics. So there's a bit of news about the Liberal Party coming out in the past day or two about the minimum wage, and they've actually said that they now are publicly saying they want the minimum wage for 24 Hong Kong dollars an hour. I know that one of their guys, what was his name? Some weasel. What was his name?
Tommy Zhang.
Tommy.
Zhang Yuyan.
Yeah.
Zhang Yuyan.
Now, last month he basically got heavily criticised by just about everyone in Hong Kong society for saying that the minimum wage should be only 20 Hong Kong dollars. I think even his own party turned against him and said, "Listen, that's just ridiculously low." But now, basically, the Liberal Party have just come out in the past day or two saying they want it to be $24. What's your sort of initial reaction to that, and so on? And how do you think, in order to raise it higher, what's the kind of the best strategy that the union groups and working class supporting groups should take on it?
I think in a different way that Tommy Zhang is encouraging the poor people to come out to vote for the referendum. If you keep saying that, like $20, $24, isn't it?
That's true, actually.
Yeah. Especially for example, if you say $20, it's like some people getting $18 per hour. They would think is not a high price for it. But if somebody getting $33 right now, and they would say that they would think that the boss will reduce the wage down to $20, right? So whenever anybody take the agenda and saying that the price come out, if it's not the price, we're saying that $33, everybody will be in deep shit.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, because in Britain, you see, the minimum wage is around the equivalent of around 65 or Hong Kong dollars or something. And there's this one group, the Hong Kong Confederation of Trade Unions. I think they're the kind of more pro-government, or is it trade union? There's two trade union groups, isn't there? Anyway, they're suggesting 33 Hong Kong dollars. But in some ways, shouldn't they be sort of saying higher in order to try and negotiate a higher fee? I mean, even 33, is a very low figure compared to other developed countries and so on.
But relatively, because we have a very low tax rate.
That's right. That's right. Because of the tax issue, I would accept that in terms of the minimum wage, it should be because of the tax issue. Taking into account, it should be let's say 25% less, for example, than the British minimum wage. But even if you go down that level, it's still, you're not looking at anywhere near 24 Hong Kong dollars.
So that would be like $40 if you compare.
You're looking at that kind of figure. You're looking at that kind of figure.
$40 proportionally.
Yeah, you're looking at that kind of figure. And I would say, okay, in some ways, you've got to be practical. Hong Kong's got to start off at some point, get a minimum wage, and then gradually, hopefully, each year it will be reviewed and will slowly go up, because that's what's happened in Britain. Actually, it started off at I think £4. Around £4 an hour or something, and now is slowly increased. You see, and in some ways that's a good mechanism, because then it will never go down, but it will hopefully will slowly go up. But I mean, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because I know a decision on that is going to come up in July, so that will be pretty big news actually, and it'll be all the different vested interest groups will come out again to do with that. But it was good to see that particular guy, Tommy Chung, eating humble pie is the expression you say in English, and there's a glim photo of him. Shame on that guy for saying it should be $20. Anyway,
because the estimation from the government is about $28 to $30.
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how that plays out. We've run out of time for part one, and we'll be back shortly for part two.